welcome back to the Cat Scrappiness YouTube channel. My name is Marla. I'm with Mad About Cards and Crafts. Today I am sharing a final Christmas card on the Cat Scrappiness YouTube channel, but I did want to remind you that all holiday products, Christmas and Hanukkah, are 15% off currently. Here's the card that we are going to be creating today, a cute, clean, and simple card. I'm going to jump right into the process. I have stamped my images out using watercolor friendly ink, and I am coloring with my Zig markers on Bristol Smooth cardstock. I began by using gray tint, and I am going to use that for all of the fur and for the beard on Santa, because his beard definitely would have a little bit of gray in it, and then because white is never really fully white, there are usually shadows in that. Now I am going to color all parts of the Santa Claus except for the Christmas box before I use my reds. And I tell you this because twice I colored some of these images and ended up contaminating my Santa by getting my Zig marker into the red and spreading that out. That is going to happen in a different way in this video, but I'm going to show you how I was able to fix it. So I have moved on to Santa's boots, and I'm using a combination of dark gray and a green gray for his boots. And all I'm doing is laying down a little bit of color, both my dark shade and then the mid-tone, and then I take the Zig colorless blender and I am blending that out. When you use Zig markers on Bristol Smooth cardstock, it blends like butter, and I absolutely love the ease of use. I have used a flesh tone on Santa's nose, his hands, and I think that there was one other spot. Nope. Oh yeah, his ear over underneath his hat. I'm taking a light blue marker, which is light blue, and I'm coloring that steam. I will take these images over to my brother's Scan and Cut. I will cut them out, but Cat does have dies now available for this Christmas gnome stamp set. I'm using 3 shades of red here. The very darkest color is called Deep Red, and then I will come in with a mid-tone, which is going to be the Geranium Red. I will end up adding a third color, which is Carmine Red, and I'm also going to use a little bit of the Carmine Red in the Christmas package. So I lay down my dark tone where I want my shadow to be. I blend it out a little bit with the Geranium Red, and then I use my colorless blender and blend all of that out. I want a little bit more shadow, so I go back in with that deep red and deepen up those shadows. And I'm going to do the same thing for Santa's suit. I wanted to create a quick, clean, and simple card. I do love clean and simple cards. I don't do them very often. I am going to be using a stencil that is from my stash to mask off an area because I did not have any masking paper for this project. If you do not have a stencil that masks, you can take one of the Cat Scrappiness square stencils or any square stencil that you may have, and you can cut it into a piece of masking paper and use that as your mask for the next process that I'm going to share with you. So I just wanted to let you know that I just didn't have the masking paper, but you can certainly do it with masking paper by just cutting out a square. So here I'm finishing up the rest of his suit, and I love the way these 3 colors blend together. I have not had a chance to use these Santas. This Christmas season has went by so incredibly fast. It's unbelievable. I also wanted to mention, along with the sale, that Cat is going to be closing the store from December 20th until the 1st. So or December 21st to the 1st. So if you place an order after the 20th, your items are not going to ship until the 1st. So just make sure to keep that in mind, and make sure that you head over there and use that discount code for all of the cute Christmas products that she has. I'm coloring in his little cocoa mug, and for that, my darkest color is cobalt blue, and then I'm going to blend that out with the light blue. Later on off camera, I do come in and deepen the shadow on that left side where his face would be casting a little bit of a shadow on the cup. If you haven't subscribed to the Cat Scrappiness channel, we would absolutely love for you to subscribe. Make sure that you ring the bell so that you're notified whenever we do upload a video. Now here I thought that I wanted a golden yellow, and I didn't have a golden yellow available in my zigs. So I thought that I would take a yellow and then I would add a little bit of brown and blend that out with my colorless blender. But here's where the blender happens. I forgot to wipe off my colorless blender. So each time you change colors, you need to clean off the tip of your pen. And I forgot to clean off the tip of my pen. You're going to see that after I add this brown, I'll start blending it out just a little bit, realize I need that colorless blender, and I am going to smear some red over the top of that box. So what I end up doing is bringing in a carmine red and just adding red to the box. So I get more of a orange, kind of a red orange. There's that beautiful red color in my box, but I get like a beautiful red orange, and I'm really happy with that because I do end up bringing in Festive Berries Distress Oxide ink, and that kind of has a little bit, when you lightly blend it, it still has a little bit of a red, orange tone, excuse me, to it. So it ended up working out really well. I was able to still incorporate that orange red into my card. So you can see that I'm adding the red where the shadowing would be, and then I'm going to come in and blend that out with my colorless blender, and it's going to give me that beautiful shade. I will come in with some greens next for the bow. The yellow that I used was yellow, and then the color that I was using to try to get that green or that goldish color, I added a mustard in with that. And then, as I said, I brought in the carmine. Finally, the green tints that I'm using is light green. I'm only going to use the light green. I did end up coloring Santa's tongue with a light carmine, which is a pink tone. So I'm just going to blend this out, and then we're going to move on to our card panel. So I am going to start with a card panel that is Neenah Solar White 80-pound cardstock. I will have it cut to 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. And here I've placed my stencil down, and then I have a snow stencil that I'm laying over the top of that. So I'm going to get a nice little perfect square with this snow. And again, I'm using that Distress Oxide in Festive Berries. And I'm just going to ink around the edges of this snowflake stencil and then back in the middle. And that's going to give me nice placement for my Santa. So there's that clean and simple look. I'm going to cut this card panel down. So I am cutting a 1/4 inch off of each side and then a 1/2 inch off of the bottom. So now my card panel is 3 3/4 by 5. I'm bringing in another layer, which is 4 by 5 1/4, and I am ink blending that Festive Berries around the edges. So that's going to provide a nice frame for that card panel that we just created. And I'm not really worried about my fingers. I'm putting it in the middle because my fingerprints aren't going to show there. I'm only going to have about a 1/4 inch border all the way around. So I'll just blend this around. And then I will bring in my card base. My card base is Neenah Solar White 110 pound cardstock. And that is a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch top folding card. I'm using my art glitter glue to glue the ink blended, I had to think, ink blended panel down. I've added some foam tape to my snow panel, and I'm going to pop that up. And excuse my camera shaking. I stand up to do this so that I can look overhead without you seeing my head. And I centered that onto that card panel. And here we're adding from another stamp set of Cat Scrappiness. It's called Merry Critters. We're adding the words Merry Christmas. We're stamping it in that same festive berries. And that magnet, because I did have foam adhesive on the back of one of those panels, that magnet is blocking part of the stamping, so I am going to take it off and do one final stamping, and I'm going to get it a lot crisper. There we go. All I need to do now is adhere my Santa, and I have a clean and simple card with a little bit of interest, and I think that it turned out absolutely adorable. I will have all of the products that I used listed in the description box below, as well as links to all of Cat Scrappiness social media. I'm going to show you a final look at my card. I want to wish you all a very Merry Christmas. Thank you so much for watching, and I will be back in a week with another video.